Hello everybody, how you doing? So I couldn't get my camera to work on live, so I'm gonna try it this way. So afternoon, good morning, whatever it is, wherever you are. Probably not good morning anywhere, but that's okay. My name's Andy. How you guys doing today? So a little bit about myself. I'm a pastor's kid. Pastor's kids. What can you say about pastor's kids? Well, a lot. Um, wow. It's just being a pastor's kid in my days. It just it's a long list. So I'm gonna tell you a couple things about some of the things that as a pastor's kid you go through. Now, anybody watching this, please don't take offense. These are all jokes. These are meant to be funny. They're not supposed to be throwing insults at Christianity or anything like that. Okay, it's just good old fashioned humor. Okay, so if you don't like comedy, then flip it off and turn it somewhere else. But I'm gonna go on with my jokes. So yeah. So first thing on the list, going to shut-ins. Shut-ins are going to visit people. Some of the senior citizens in church with my dad. Um, was interesting because sometimes they'd have a dish of candy, and it was like Werther's original, or they'd be butterscotch candies or cinnamon candies, or those ribbon candies on the table, and they'd be from like like 1985, and they'd just be sitting sitting there, and then little poor little old Betty, would you like some candy? And you didn't want to tell them no because you felt bad, so you just go sure, and you just reach in there, and then you just be like, so good, delicious. Mm. Where's your bathroom? You know, it's so dry and everything. You're like, ugh. And then you'd leave, and sometimes they'd be like, would you like some ginger cookies? And it's like, so by that, you're like a food taster. You're like a food taster, and you're like, you don't know if this gingerbread tastes good. Sometimes it tastes nasty, and you take it home, and you're like, ooh, I'm hungry. Let me try that gingerbread cookie. And you're like, oh shit, it has mold on it. And you're like, oh, or it's stale. I had some stale cookies. I'm sure some people have too. So, but it's all good. It's fun. I'm just poking fun. But yeah, so but sometimes you're like, can you put some Snickers on the table? Some Kit Kats, some Hershey bars, something like that. I mean, where's the good stuff? But no, butterscotch, ribbon candies, Werther's original, sometimes candy canes. Those were safe, usually, unless they're like from 10 Christmases ago or something. But yeah, so that's one of those things. So I don't know if you guys thought that was funny, but that's the first joke. Um, oh, another thing as a pastor's kid, communion. I remember, like as in the beginning, you had your because you're little, you're little, and you're like 4 or 5, you're going up there, and you're like, you know, you don't know any better. But as you get older, then you're not old enough to take the wine yet. So you're like, at least I got my steps in. I'm like, because all you get is you get the blessing. You get the blessing. I can't remember what it is. Um, the Lord loves you, and then it's like, okay, and you're like this, and you're like, I'm looking at the couch cushion, the kneeling cushion. Okay, can I move now? Can't move. Gotta stay put. And sometimes you try to move, and your mom would be like, and you're like, oh shoot, okay, you gotta stay here, okay, not yet. And then you're watching everybody. You're like, is there movement yet? Can we move? I don't know. Okay, they're not moving yet. Okay, I gotta stay put. Head down. And you're like at the corner of your eye. You're like, okay, oh, we're standing up now. Okay, we're standing up. We're standing up. Okay, we're moving to the right or left. Which way are we going? Okay, we're going to the left. Okay, because sometimes you get some to the left and some to the right. So and you're like, which way are we going? Which way? Like sometimes you separate. You're like, oh, can I go? No, you gotta go to the right. It's like you know which way to go. You're like, you want to do it right. You're like, it's like proper. It's like, okay, let's go this way. Oh, no, wait, let's go this way. So you didn't know which way you were gonna go. So that was funny. And and then when you like watching, sometimes you'd peek your head up, and you'd watch some of the adults take wine, and you'd have I got perfect example. I've got my Popeyes cup here, so you guys I can use an example. So this is the chalice, okay? So you had some people in the church, and oh, you guys know who you are out there. Don't you lie. So you'd have some for the chalice, and you go. But some people, and then like you'd have him hold it up to him like, and he'd guide it in there. But sometimes you like they grab it and they're like trying to get that extra sip and I'm like, oh boy. I'm like, you guys know who you are. It's like, I need that extra sip. I didn't get enough wine. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous. I'm kidding. It's a joke. But yeah, so that's the second one. That's another. Um, I was made to sing. I remember that. You didn't sing in church, you got in trouble. My mom took me out back. You need to sing and follow along in service. What's wrong with you? You need to pay attention. Stop playing in the pew. Sing. And I'm like, okay. Quack, quack, quack. That was when I was little. It's like, I don't want to sing. Who gets in there and and then you get back to your seat. And the Lord sees me away. And you're off key. And you can't. And you're like just trying to follow. Sometimes you were so young you didn't know how to read. You're like, cat, dog. You're just making up stuff because you don't want to get hit. You're like, and the dog went down the tree. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Or you're just humming along with this music. La 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 la. Please don't hit me. So it's like you got that going for you. But then as you grow up, then you're like, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. Who saved a rest. Oh, and then like I didn't like it when you're in the middle of a song. You're jamming along to your music, okay? You're jamming along to your music, and I'm in church. Like it's a good song. I don't know what it is, but it's like it's a good song, okay? And you don't really know the words, but you know vaguely the words, like Amazing Grace or something. So you're singing Amazing, and it's during communion. So you have the book, and you have to put your book down. Amazing Grace, and it's your turn. It's your turn for the aisles. You guys know what the talk. So you're like you hold the book, and you're like, and like sometimes you could sing, but then you forget the words, and you're like, but you're cocky anyways. So you're like, Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. And then you just mumble the words because you forgot the lyrics, the words. Halfway down the pew going up to communion, like, you know, that's just an example of it, whatever the song was. And you guys know that we've all done that before too in church. So that was funny. That was always fun. But and then like you have like inquired, you'd have one good singer who's like you'd have like Susan, like she can jam out the notes and be a high and Amazing Grace, how sweet. And then you'd have like Ruth Ann or some Susie or whatever it is, and then they'd be like Jack me. But because of Susan rocking it over there, you don't even pay attention to that little Ruth over there, off key and everything else. So it's like you're like, yeah, praise the Lord, and it's like, praise the Lord. It's like, and every blue moon you'd hear somebody be off pitch, and you're like, But you're like, just sitting there, you're like, so it's like you were like back and forth. You're like, okay, where's my switch at? I'm done. But these are all jokes, guys. These are all jokes. Um, Another thing in my memory, being put in the kids sermon, like when you only have like maybe 5 people at church, 5 children in the thing, and you're like 15, and you're the pastor's kid now, so you're forced to go up there, and you're like Andy, Lonnie, people, come down here, and you're like, no, come down here, no, come on down here, and you're like, oh, you just roll your eyes, here we go again. And then you just sit there and you're like, And Noah's Ark said animals 2 by 2 going up, and you're like, I'm like, this is so embarrassing. But there you are. You're a kid. You're 15, not 8, not 5, not 4. You're 15 years old, and you have to sit in the kids' sermon to fill the gap because there's not that many kids in church today. So you're like, oh boy, and you know it coming in because you're telling like, is there any children? Hopefully there's lots of children today. You're like, oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh shoot, well, I know what I'm doing. Definitely know what I'm doing today. I'm like, if you had a crush in church, they're sure laughing at you now because they didn't get pulled up there. No, you did. You know why? Because your job. You're a pastor's kid. but yeah. Oh, and school when you're not at church. School nights. You have to wake up in the morning. Guess who's your alarm clock? Your parents. I remember distinctly. Rise and shine and give God the glory, glory. Rise and shine, give God the glory. Wake up! Rise and shine and give God the glory, glory, children. And meanwhile, you're like, go away, Joe. I was sleeping about race cars, but you woke me up with that stuff. And you know what, like for me, I was an awful sleeper. You can ask anybody. I was doing this the whole time, going, what do you want? And you just cover back up the covers, and you're like, maybe if I put my covers over my head, they'll go away. Nope, they just got louder and yanked the covers off you. Yeah, it just, it never got better. It never got better with that. Oh, when visiting guest pastors, if any pastors are watching this, no offense. You didn't know what kind of pastor you were gonna get if it was brand new pastors. At the end of service, you didn't know if you were gonna get one with stinky breath and a loose grip, or if you were gonna get a tight grip and bad breath. Sometimes they had some bad breath. They'd be kicking like Jackie Chan. You'd be like, "Hi, I'm Pastor Bob," and you're and then you're shaking your hand. Hi, it's nice to meet you. Please don't break my hand. It was like, and then you walk away, you're like, God be the glory, God be the glory, God be the glory. You're like, Hopefully you guys are laughing on the other side. And then like my last joke for the day is, no, two more. While in church, somebody in the congregation is usually in charge of the snacks or the breakfast. I don't know what it's called. the bringing the food in before service and after service and cleanup. So I never got that duty. But so you're hoping that whoever gets it brings in good food. Sometimes they make something. Sometimes they're lazy and they just go, "Oh, I'm gonna go to Dunkin' Donuts and get 2 boxes of donuts and bring them in." So whoever brings in the donuts, oh my god, that's you won the lottery that day, because you're like, "Ooh, I got that." Ooh, and you rushed upstairs, so you're like 10, and you're like, "Ooh, that strawberry donut got my name on it, yeah." And you're like, "Amazing Grace, donut, 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 how sweet the." I'm thinking about that donut. Ooh, it's gonna be beautiful in my mouth. Yes, it is. How sweet, So you're singing, you're like, oh, and then you try to get to the donuts downstairs, but no. Do you get to go? No. You guys know what I'm talking about. Thing goes, in comes Miss Betty. Hi, Andy. Oh boy, here we go. I think you're lovely. You're a great drummer, and my dad gave you great praise and hope. And you're like, yeah, I'm thinking about that donut right now. Not you. Please move out of my way. And she's just yapping. Yeah, I saw a rabbit the other day. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. And sometimes they have bad breath, so it's on top of that. There's a rabbit. And you're like, oh, yep. But you don't do that. You're just like, but you're in your brain. You're going, oh my goodness, you need a peppermint. So hopefully my delivery today is not too fast and not too all over the place, and hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying. I hope so. But and then for my last joke, road trips. Road trips were interesting because we had Veggie Tales, Veggie Tales, Veggie Tales. But that was at the end of my era. Luke and my nephews and everybody, they know all that. They're up with that. I was brought up with Salty, the singing songbook. Mm-mm. I could sing those. I could sing those songs. Front and back, couldn't we? My siblings all know about that one. So, but yeah, so we didn't get the so during car trips, I just put on my headphones if when I got to that age. It's like, whoop, yeah, we're not listening to this anymore. Sometimes they crank it up though, so you're drowned out with that. Don't you think it's time to praise the Lord? It's like, oh my goodness. Oh, I've heard this 50,000 times. Can I turn it off? But it's okay. Yeah, my parents are like, oh, he still remembers it. But yes, we still remember it. Okay. We still remember the torture. We love it. But I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Anybody out there have any more stories to tell or jokes? Comment down below. Give me your feedback on if you guys were laughing, if you guys were on the floor, if you guys were like, oh, that was not funny. But let me know on my delivery, and thank you very much. You guys have a nice night, and thank you for listening. Um, God be with you. Love you. Take it easy, alright? Bye.